Coco is the next original Pixar film that isn't a sequel, but it's also the last original Pixar film for at least a few years in a row, as the studio releases Incredibles 2 and Toy Story 4. So obviously, there's a lot riding on Coco being a really good movie because it will have to satisfy our appetites for quite a while. In the same way, Inside Out and Good Dinosaur prepared us for Finding Dory and Cars 3. But until now, we've known very little about Coco, a movie about a young Mexican boy who discovers a family secret about his past, and the movie was announced in 2012 and revealed to be centered around the Mexican holiday Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. And it's directed by Lee Unkrich, the director of Toy Story 3, co-directed by Adrian Molina, and produced by longtime Pixar veteran Darla K. Anderson. Yeah, that Darla. I should stress that the information I'm about to share with you guys is very plot heavy, so if you don't want to know too much about Coco, then you may want to click away. That said, here's a bunch of new stuff we just found out about Coco, starting with the plot. Coco stars Miguel, who is voiced by a 12-year-old newcomer named Anthony Gonzalez, a young boy with a secret musical ambition in a Mexican village full of vibrant and festive music lovers. Unfortunately, his family of shoemakers despises and even forbids music in their household, and apparently for good reason. They believe they've been cursed by music itself due to an old family story about Miguel's great-great-grandfather abandoning his wife Imelda in order to become a musical performer, which coincidentally is what Miguel wants to become. Anyway, as a result, the family outright bans music, while secretly Miguel wants to become just like his favorite singer, the now deceased Ernesto de la Cruz, voiced by Benjamin Bratt. And he accidentally enters the land of the dead, believing he has some link to the singer's ghost. And this is going to be where most of the movie apparently takes place. Like any good Pixar theorist, you might be thinking the movie is setting this up to be like a plot twist, that de la Cruz is Miguel's late great-great-grandfather. But this is almost seeming a little too obvious considering the circumstances, so for now, let's just focus on the plot. So, Miguel explores this beautiful underworld and stumbles across the souls of his family, the Riveras, which includes his great-great-grandmother Imelda. He's joined by a mischievous skeletal spirit named Hector, who is voiced by Gael Garcia Bernal, and they team up to find De La Cruz somewhere in the land of the dead. And of course, there is a time limit, so Miguel has to do all of this and return to the land of the living before he supposedly gets trapped there forever. Okay, so like I said, that's a lot of information. So the movie is less than a year away, and we can expect to learn even more in the coming months. And thanks to Entertainment Weekly, we also have some specific insights from the creators of the movie that you can check out in the link below. For example, Lee Unkrich points out that this is an all-Latino cast, which is pretty extraordinary, and it's really cool to hear as a Latino myself. And he also provides some extra info on the voice cast that you might find pretty interesting. One last thing, Pixar is telling us that Coco has a ton of music in it, but it's definitely not a musical, at least not in the classical sense. Pixar has never been shy about featuring music beats in their movies. I mean, think of the Toy Story movies, Monsters, Inc., Wall-E. So it's interesting to hear that Coco will be pushing that line, if you want to call it, a little bit further, since it centers around famous singers and there's gonna be people singing. I think we can at least expect a really cool soundtrack, if nothing else. Coco is gonna hit theaters on November 22nd, 2017, and as always, I'll be hitting the books on how this movie could potentially speak to the greater Pixar shared universe, if at all. You know, assuming you're into that sort of thing. Alright, well that's all I got for you guys. As always, thanks for watching.